I think one of the key challenges today is the relentless pace of change. How does an organization remain nimble and adaptable to a market that's changing in front of it almost on a weekly basis? And for that, it needs to equip a group of people with the skills that they can deploy in order to respond to that challenge. Here at Roche Martin, we work with large organizations implementing senior leadership programs and train HR and L&D professionals to become in-house specialists, to be able to deploy technology such as the Emotional Capital Report, the ECR. The Emotional Capital Report is a rigorous way of measuring and benchmarking a set of emotional skills inside the organization. So we originally deployed this training inside a large organization in the UK. And then 9 months later, we measured the change and people's response to their training. And what we found was that they had the highest level of engagement in the history of the business. But what became clear to me is that these sorts of skills, this sort of training, can be embedded inside organizations and produce really sustainable change. And there's an enormous amount of interest from large companies around the world today as to how they can increase performance, how they can develop deeper levels of engagement, how they can arrest the high degree of absenteeism and turnover inside their organization that's costing their business millions. So at a company like Boeing Defence Australia, a really world-class group of engineers who really need to retain the brightest and the best talent, not that long ago, they engaged us to develop a program around emotional intelligence using the ECR. And because they were an engineering firm, we were able to break down for them the technical competencies of emotional intelligence. The HR director is convinced that the success of the program was really built around the very tangible, practical outcomes that engineers could understand and see as they made commitments to developing their own emotional skills. Or take an organization like Sky, one of the fastest growing and most innovative media businesses in the world today. For this reason, the senior leadership at Sky recognized they needed a culture that is able to keep pace with the changing market conditions and changing demands. So it's invested heavily in developing a program to ensure their leadership has the skills they need and are fit for the future. Or take an organization like Network Rail, a large, heavily industrialized organization and a very complicated business that has embraced emotional intelligence as a framework for selecting and developing future leaders within the business. So all these businesses are faced with a similar challenge. How do we create cultures which engage and inspire a new generation of young men and women who want to spend their working lives working for more than just money, but creating something of real value? The questions are different, but the answer is the same. Build emotional and intelligence skills right across the organization. Increase the value of emotional capital in the business.